Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, he's going way further than what you're saying.
He's going like Sharia law with it.
Yeah, I mean,
you just like I don't tell you.
he's talking about specifically in a work like even my PR
if it's in a work situation, that's pretty crazy.
He said in the past he wouldn't stream with girls either because people take it out of context.
Oh yeah, he did say that.
Right.
That was pretty wild too. He's very careful. Maybe his wife is just like mega jealous and possessive.
That's true. And if that is true, then cool for him to honor it like that.
Yeah.
Listen, it's not.
It's not healthy.
Yeah, it's not
healthy at all.
She's like, you play with another girl, I'm putting a fucking bra on.
Literally.
Look, you keep the sandwich
never
coming,
get
girl.
another
I will be by myself forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going like full evangelical Mike Pence. He made a statement once like, I'll never be alone with a woman. He made it like the same statement. What did he say?
Yeah, no, it was specifically about gaming. He doesn't want to play games with girls for similar reasons.
Mike Pence statement on...
Oh, you're talking about Pence. I'm sorry.
He said never dine alone.
Pence will never play Fortnite with a girl. Never.
Wait, hold on. AB, go ahead.
Never dine alone with a woman.
What? Dine alone? Oh,
Dine
well, I agree
alone.
with that. That's a little... It depends. If it's work-related, I don't know. Dining alone with a woman, though, is kind of an intense...
I don't know what to tell you, man.
Not if you're grabbing dinner over, like, working on something.
It really
You know what I
depends.
mean? It just depends on the
Are you at a
circumstance.
diner?
It's these blanket statements. And the same thing with Ninja. It's like, listen, I'm not saying this, and I'm not accusing him or anything, but, like, he's like, avoiding infidelity is easy. I just never put myself alone with a woman. Isn't that like a self-snitch in a way? Like...
Nah.
I'd be tempted. I'd be too tempted if I put myself in that.
Right.
He's being hyperbolic. I think it's more just about being respectful to his spouse. Not like, oh, if I was in the room.
Listen, I get that. I completely get that. But
That's the way
maybe he's just being hyperbolic. But combined with what he said previously about not wanting to even play video games with women,
that was a little
it
nutty.
seems like he's pretty Mike Pence about all of this.
I admire the grace you're giving him.
Listen, he loves his wife, clearly,
does.
and he's very loyal to her. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
I got a smoking hot wife. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, hell yeah, brother. He loves his wife, man.
I'm having a roommate at all times. If we're alone, I leave instantly. That's on like fidelity, right? As for anything else, dude, it just I don't DM anyone, bro. I DM my boys. Like I DM like guys in the community.
He's definitely right. You should not be DMing girls, my God, if you're like married. Or even if you're a celebrity, frankly, it's a pretty rough spot to just be like cold DMing girls. Like, fuck.
Yeah. Yeah, and like the whole beginning of this clip, he was right on about everything.
I don't think what he said is crazy. I know where you're coming from, but I think he means where I'm coming from. If I had to say, I'm only saying this because I want to build a bridge with him. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I agree with
Fair enough. Fair enough.
this. Me and Ninja.
I've been on the Ninja train for a while, but I saw this and I was like, oh, that's weird.
Well, you'll hopefully be a married man by the end of the year, Danny. Then maybe you'll understand.
I guess so. I guess I'll see what it's like.
Oh, Nate has a good question. You can use the mic, Nate. You're on board, baby. You got a mic.
I just said if there's a female doctor, does he ask for a male one?
Definitely.
That's a wonderful
Like based off of what he's saying here, yes.
Is that wrong? Because women doctors do that, and I don't blame them.
Right.
Right. I guess it depends on what kind of
Like if I had
general
to get, like, my
practitioner
balls,
or whatever.
hold on. If I had to get my shit like felt up for like whatever, they feel your balls, make you cough, inspect your dick, whatever.
Sure.
I would definitely be more comfortable with a guy doing that.
Well, yeah, I'd rather a female gynecologist, I guess. But like even, it sounds like he wouldn't even be if they were checking on him for a cold.
Right.
He wouldn't be
He would
able
have to be in a room alone.
That's
with him.
insane.
But the biggest
Or like taking vitals.
That
the
would
biggest
be
like gynecologist in our hometown is also a DJ, and that motherfucker's there's like these there's like this big like Lebanese night thing they have at this like big restaurant, and like every weekend he's DJing, and dude, Dr. DJ ain't coming near my wife.
That is the worst vibe.
He's like 50 years old. Yeah, he's
What's his name? DJ. DJ
Vagina.
DJ Vagina.
I don't know.
Holy
I know his real name. I don't know his DJ name.
That's
Is he on SoundCloud?
Not that I know of.
That is so funny.
All right, go ahead, Ninja. You're
Community.
I'm in.
No, there's no private messages going on with any girls. If there are, it's like someone like Chica, or like, you know, just like people in the space.
So yeah, he has women friends. It's like Chica.
Like Chica.
I don't know what that is.
Me neither. She's in the space though.
She's in the space. She's cool, man.
And then as for like people that I know, bro, if I don't know you, I am not DMing you. I don't want to get to know you, dude. I don't want to find out you're only 7. Like, I don't know.
Right there with you, brother.
Yeah, and again, it's back. It's
and,
like I'm agreeing with most of what he's saying in this clip. It's just it took like a weird turn there in the middle. The whole I will never.
To be honest, though,
Within 50 foot of a woman legally, I am mandating.
yeah, I kind of get it though. He's kind of the man for that too.
Okay.
Like in a sense, I'm super liberal, progressive, but it's kind of based when you're in a relationship and you just become by choice the most like conservative, regressive freak.
I mean, you just,
That was a joke. Sorry. This is a joke.
Gotcha.
You're like, listen, bro, can you hang out with women? Of course. Do I? Never in my life. Because it's a gesture of loyalty and fidelity to my partner.
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence.
In fact,
I don't think he knows what he said either.
I try not even to catch eyes with women. If I do, I self-flagellate.
Yeah.
Let's do a poll before we go. Not Nate, sorry. Ninja, based or not based?
I don't know what to tell you, man.
It's a good poll.
Base. Ninja. Base. Not base. What do you think? Okay.
I mean, certainly it's not a bad thing. He's just trying to be respectful to everybody and not get in trouble. I'm saying,
Yeah.
you know, like it could be it's come off a little misogynistic. I get it. And if it's put out like, ooh, if he makes the other girl feel uncomfortable in the sense that he's leaving. But overall, I think he's just being a respectful king.
If he's speaking in hyperboles, I'm right there with him.
I think he is.
Just don't.
He's obviously doing shtick with the.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
being silly.
it's a very cartoony presentation that he's making here.
Based has a right-wing connotation. Does it?
I don't know what to tell you, man.
In like a meme way.
I thought everyone says it.
Yeah.
Also, Dan, this is a bad poll. You said based, ? And no based.
Oh.
Fab.
No based?
It's a bad poll then? Would you like me to start over?
No, it's fine.
No, like that is based on what they told me.
So what's the liberal word for that?
They called me not based. They called me get.
Based on what?
Just a bit.
Like that is based on what they told me.
Okay. What is the liberal version of based? Based.
W?
Good or bad?
Oh, just normal.
Yeah. To a right winger, based is good, and not based is bad.
I know that, but I thought that was like just internet.
Honest.
Maybe
slang.
L and
Well,
W.
yeah. It's like a meme thing, not even right wing.
Just honest. The left just says honest instead of based.
They say honest? Who says honest?
You were asking for what's the left wing version of that?
Yeah.
I was just like honest.
Changing mag.
Like they don't actually like.
Nobody says that.
Honestly.
Well, I mean, like someone just being honest. That's what being based is.
Oh, just being honest.
Yeah.
Honestly.
That's based as fuck. Someone's in their brat summer.
Yeah, we
L's
are.
or dubs? All right, let's wrap it up. Dan had a really good idea. What a fun show we had today.
An original idea.
A terrific show. We really got to get in with the most anticipated movie of the spring. No, summer. No, fall. Movie of the fall.
Winter, technically. Originally.
October?
No, early February
It
is
was,
when
yeah,
it was supposed to
be
come out.
Feb.
It'd still be winter.
Oh yeah, top movie of the winter. Spring, summer. No, this fall.
This fall.
Surely not to be delayed again. Thank you guys for watching. Love you all so much. Thank you for all the generous donations, and thank you to our members. I'm gonna need that money more than ever because Ryan is coming for me.
He's coming.
I'm genuinely. I think he knows and he won't do anything, but I think there's like maybe 40% chance he sues me?
Certainly higher than 0%.
I'd say so.
The thing is, he's not gonna. Usually, you want to bog people down and just bury him in bills, but like, I'm fine. Like, he's not gonna do that. I'm gonna get that money back for sure. Because it's such a dumb, frivolous lawsuit.
Very frivolous. Kind of based though.
Super based. Guys, what can I say? Love y'all so very much. Tomorrow is Tuesday, which means we will not be live, but Wednesday we'll be back. Oh, we have a super fun Wednesday episode planned.
Yes, we do.
We're doing Kendall. What's her last name?
Kendall Ray.
You guys probably, a lot of you know Kendall Ray. She's one of the top true crime girlies.
Huge fan.
And you guys know I love true crime. So she's coming in and we're gonna do like a true crime segment together. It's gonna be super fun. I'm really excited. So that's what's on Wednesday, and I'll see you guys all then. Until then, have a beautiful, blessed evening. Stay based. And watch out for those girls. And guys, don't be in a room. No rooms.
I told you guys that the Democratic Party's platform across the board wasn't the issue. It was actually who was saying it that was the issue. And I showed you at the time the poll numbers for down ballot Democrat senators outperforming Joe Biden by 10 points in some of these key states. Anyway, let's start with Harris topping Trump in favorability ratings and also in the latest polls in many key states. I'm going to pee real quick.
And our political director and Washington bureau chief, Rick Klein, to break down the latest polls for us. Good morning to you, Rick.
Yeah, good morning, Robin. As Rachel said, this is an entirely different race than it was just a week ago. And one thing is for certain, it is close. We've had 4 major polls come out just since Joe Biden left the race and endorsed Harris. You have anything from a Harris +2 to a Trump +3, basically a tied race, all within the margin of error. We've also gotten some initial battleground state polling that's encouraging for Democrats. A tie in Pennsylvania, Trump up by just a single point in Wisconsin. That's better than Joe Biden was doing in both of those states. He was trailing in the 538 polling average right before he left the race. And it has been quite a honeymoon for Vice President Harris. Just in the space of a week. So a week ago, 35% of the country saw her favorably. Now it is up to 43. That includes a big jump among independents. She is now the very rare politician viewed more favorably than unfavorably, at least for the moment. On the other side, we've seen kind of the opposite happen for Donald Trump. Coming out of his convention and that assassination attempt, we talked last week, he had got to a 4-year high in favorability of 40%. Now it's down to the mid-30s, back where it's been for a long time. And J.D. Vance, this has not been a good debut week for him. The number of people who view him unfavorably jumped by 8 points in the space of a week. Look at that gap, 15 points underwater overall, Robin.
And overall, Rick, it does appear that with the voters, that they're more pleased with this current matchup than they were with the rematch with Biden and Trump.
Yeah, we've seen a big shift in that, Robin. Just a week ago, 14% of the country said they were unfavorably inclined to support either one of the candidates. They were.
J.D. Vance and Ron DeSantis are cut from the same cloth. It's the Sugar Man cloth. And it's so funny that that is like supposed to be the future of the Republican Party, which is like a technocratic approach to Donald Trump's policy agenda, which is basically just like post hoc pieced together after Donald Trump says something, not realizing that like Donald Trump carries his base in a cult-like fashion, and it's not actually the sound policy making that is the reason why people like him. And it's a complete misread from the Republican Party. This is something that I've mentioned a bunch of times. Republicans don't realize that their agenda is just genuinely reprehensible and that people don't like it if you're just like a nerdy guy who is like being nerdy about your racism or being nerdy about your sexism. Like a little bit of like racism and sexism obviously plays well to the base, right? But you can't go beyond. You can't just like deliver detailed analysis in the form of scientific racism to try to justify your belief system, right? And I think that they are leaning into that because it's a genuine mislead. I think that they just like bought Twitter. Elon bought Twitter, and they just thought that they could like manipulate people into thinking this way. They thought that, you know, they were genuinely popular, not realizing that like all of the policies that they pushed for are not necessarily things that people are desperately demanding. Like their base of support is not desperately demanding that you, I don't know, dunk on a bunch of like random trans teenagers. Like most people just don't give a shit. You know what I mean? That's not like a real, that's not a real thing that people are like desperate for, you know? Like even in the Republican Party, no one is like, oh yeah, I can't wait for police inspection day in schools, dog. Like I love that shit. That's weird. That's just gross. Why the do you care about this so much? And I think that they're just going to keep doing that, even though that exact mentality led to a awful, disastrous 2022 midterm outcome for them. And honestly, like the fact that the Republicans, or the fact that the Trump campaign thinking that they were going to still run against Joe Biden went with like an easy base pick with JD Vance, even though it was like an awful choice overall, is a clear-cut indication that they are too far gone and too lost in the sauce to change course, change trajectory, change their messaging. I've said this before. I've said this time and time again. I said this in 2022. I said this on multiple different occasions for the past couple of years now, that the Republicans personally forgot how to run in a post-Trump world. They forgot how to run like good campaigns. They forgot how to appeal to normal people, and have mistaken their own success in state legislatures for genuine popular momentum and broad support for some of their most violent policy agendas. And it's really weird. They're just getting really weird with it. And it's not just me saying like, oh, Republicans are so fascist. Like, they are literally just leaning into that. And I don't think they understand that, like, there's a level of how tapped in the average normal, you know, possible Republican Party voter is, and how grossed out they will be when they constantly see like, America is run by cat ladies who don't have children. You know, like that's not gonna work, man. That's weird. Like you're just weird. I don't know how else to describe it. This is a Vox video from 6 months ago that explains how they're doing that. Okay, we'll look at it in a little bit. And it is odd because like JD Vance and Ron DeSantis are so similar on that front. JD Vance and Ron DeSantis are so similar on that front in the way that they are leaning into Trump's culture war narratives, but actually trying to push policy. If you remember, I talked about Little Rhonda quite a bit when he was chosen as the pick to replace Donald Trump by the Republican Party. Establishment Republicans thought that Donald Trump was too volatile and potentially was going to be poison for the broader electorate. And at the time I said, in 2022, I said two things. Either they continue leaning into this weird shit and they lose the elections going forward, or they successfully radicalize a large enough base of support beyond the MAGA cult into being just as insane, into being just as like genuinely, openly, mentally ill. If you remember at the time I said like either people are going to become like transvestigators across the board, like every Republican that would otherwise be living in like the suburbs with like a real job or whatever is going to become like this Matt Walsh style transvestigator and like have their brains absolutely get broken by this kind of 24/7 news cycle like constantly pumping out this narrative over and over again, or they're going to negatively polarize towards that sort of thing and either stay at home, not vote, or vote for the Democratic Party, right? And I think it seems to me right now, that the Republican base of support is still kind of crumbling. Like, I don't think they've picked up additional people that are brain rotted, or at least in enough numbers as the people that they still hemorrhaged from the base of support. Okay? You feel me? For those of you who don't know, when you get to the transvestigation stage, I've said this quite a bit as well. There is like a level of brain rot that everybody has. Earthquake? I didn't even feel it. In Simi Valley, it must have been a real small one. You know what will really help? A middle ground video? Okay. We need to be careful about roasting JD before the Ohio ballot date, or else Trump might replace him 10 days ago. Dude, that would be chaos. Are you kidding me? If Trump swapped out JD Vance right now, that would look so disordered. I think he's locked in. He has to be. Just like some of you are locked into debating me at the top of the hour so you can serve the 3-minute ad break, Trump is basically destined not to see a 3-minute ad break at the top of the hour, but instead destined to run this ticket with JD Vance by his side, right? Apparently Elon Musk and other billionaires from that group and his son told him to pick JD Vance. They f***ed him over. Yeah, Donald Trump Jr. is that plays a big role in this as well. But subscribing at the top of the hour will play a big role in this for you if you no longer want to see the ads at the top of the hour. Like I said, for $6 or for free with Twitch Prime, you too can subscribe at the top of the hour. Or maybe you can get gifted a sub if you're lucky. Here's a 3-minute ad right now. May Poontang, thank you for the 10 gifted subs. And Daily Donut, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. It's kind of wild. It's kind of breaking my brain to watch Democrats' strategy shift from when they go low, we go high, to Republicans are a bunch of weird pedophiles in the span of like 3 weeks. Yeah, I mean, it's great. It's awesome. It's smart. It's good. Ryan's brain is breaking because like it's good instincts, and Democrats usually never do that. I said this since day one. I've been a big time advocate for this since day one. This is literally what they should be saying since 2022. Okay, they should have been running this before 2022, but it's correct. Where is it? I mean, I posted about this as well. Let me see if I can find it. I think it was after Walt said something too. Yeah, I mean, look, I said going for the weird vote. Americans with children should face the consequences of the reality. Yeah, this rhetoric is correct and will win over lots of people. Republicans have objectively become a weirdo party. They're super focused on random groups of people that aren't doing harm to anyone. They're too sweaty about it, too moralizing, too online. It cost them big wins in 2022. And I stand by that. I stand by that. About the vibe shift, I watched and read about 24 focus groups in the last 10 days, and overwhelmingly everyone knows Trump. And either you love him without reservation or feel ick about him, no in between. Almost all swing voters are open to her now, and everyone wants to see Kamala, what Kamala can do. They all give her a clean slate / break from Biden. Yeah. When you were calling the months in advance, did you think Vance would be this bad? I mean, I didn't. I said he was one of the worst picks he could have gone with. Yes, for all of the reasons that are in full display. I just didn't know how negatively people would respond to him. But yeah, no, this is precisely the reason why I said he's a horrible pick. A lot of people immediately go, oh, but like he's more competent than Trump. He's going to be scarier. It's like, no, dude, no. He was less popular in his state. Guys, when you're picking VP, why the fuck do you go to a lock like Ohio? Ohio is a red lock at this point. It's no longer a swing state, okay? Ohio was a red lock. And not only was Ohio a red lock, bro, get someone to make a comp of you predicting things like swapping Biden out being good and show the DNC how good your political instincts are. I don't think the DNC gives a f about how good my political instincts are. Let's be real. Because, you know, if it were up to me, I'd swap out a lot more. But like I told you guys, a guy like JD Vance that is less popular than Donald Trump in the state of Ohio is a ridiculous pick to begin with. Like, Donald Trump outperformed JD Vance in the state of Ohio, okay, by 3 points. Not only that, Not only that, but also J.D. Vance was on a ballot with the governor, okay, of Ohio. The governor of Ohio is a much more moderate Republican. Red states oftentimes will have, like states in general in the gubernatorial race only care about who the person is. Party affiliation goes out the window. But the governor of Ohio is a significantly more moderate figure in the Republican Party across the board. And also, in general, he was like significantly more moderate than J.D. Vance. Okay? He outperformed J.D. Vance on that same ballot by 20 points. 20 points. Was it a different ballot? I thought it was on the same one. I might be remembering it differently. The wine is barely moderate. Dude, for the modern Republican Party, the wine, especially with like any red governor in a red state that did some kind of like COVID restrictions is moderate. Any governor in a red ass state that isn't like as aggro as like punishing women for getting abortions is going to be considered a moderate. Okay? I thought it was on the same ballot. So overall, the point is not that like Trump should have picked the wine as his VP, by the way. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just using that juxtaposition to show you how bad of a pick J.D. Vance was, even in the state of Ohio, a state that you don't need to like pick up any additional support from anyway. That's why this pick was ass. David Sachs, Elon Musk, and Tucker Carlson. With the exception of Tucker Carlson, listening to David Sachs, Elon Musk, and Donald Trump Jr. is the dumbest thing you can do. I'll find the clips where you 100% said if the Republicans lean on this trans hate, they're going to come across weird to the average voter. Yeah. Anyway, it looks like they didn't pick JD to win the election, but the lockdown and MAGA future, none of the reasons listed were to help win Ohio. Yeah, but you don't understand. There is no MAGA future with JD Vance either. Okay? I think the only real reason for JD Vance was he's the bag man, as someone in the chat also correctly pointed out. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, he brings in tech bro support. He brings in the big bag, a big old bag from a lot of right-wing VC funded, VC backed Silicon Valley weirdos and losers. Okay? And that's it. Like, and I think it was dumb. And even Bergen would have been better, honestly. But yeah, the MAGA supporters or weird narrative is solid. Like, it's because they are, and they should be called weird. Because like when you present them as like a genuine threat to American democracy, you're giving them, I mean, it's not untrue, but you're giving them too much credit, and that actually plays solidly to their base. But if you actually humiliate them, you cut away on that narrative a little bit that they're big, strong, scary guys, because they can always run on that and be like, oh, they're just afraid because we're going to do great things for America and we're going to be owning the libs. But when they're the ones getting owned for being humiliated on the timeline and being humiliated in general, all of a sudden, some of the normies see that and they're like, I don't know if I want to be responding to this. Like, I don't want to be associated with this shit, which is something that I've done for years and years. I mean, this is a big principle. This is why I do Hogwatch. You feel me? Like, I love that I love that these guys are letting their freak flags fly on the timeline and being associated with this image that they're insane, because they objectively are. Okay? Look at that. Like, 4G Auto Blow is legitimately like a gross, weird person. Okay? Like, the Republican Party used to uphold this image of like elitism and all this shit. And now they got dudes with face tats. That image is edited. Bro, he does have a Trump blow up though. I don't know if is that actually edited? He literally does have a Trump blow up doll. And he also does look that way. Like, that part is not edited at all. So you feel that this is a bit reminiscent of how liberals behave towards conservatives in 2016, that it might backfire? No. In 2016, liberals behaved towards conservatives as not as though they were like weird and gross freaks, but instead that they were like I mean, they were right, by the way. Liberals consistently talked about how, Trump would be awful, and they talked about Trump quite a bit to a degree that gave him a lot of play, but Donald Trump didn't have any sort of Donald Trump had no track record that you could point to. And Donald Trump was significantly more moderate on a lot of issues in 2016. Liberals cared about the decorum and how uncivil the Republicans were. The Republican Party at that point was still, the last time the Republican had ran in that situation was Mitt Romney. A Mitt Romney to Donald Trump swap out was obviously genuinely changing the trajectory of the Republican Party, but people still thought about the Republicans as like, you know, there was still enough people in the base, the normal Republicans that live in the suburbs and shit, that thought the Republican Party was the old Republican Party. You know, they were still gross, violent weirdos overall, but they hadn't gotten this gross on, you know, in front of a broader audience. And also, Trump did not have the disadvantage of having run and successfully won the presidency and been the president for 4 years. Everybody knows what it's like to live under a Trump administration. People don't like the way that they felt under the Trump administration. Okay, maybe some people have